I'd rather get dipped in shit. I'd rather get hit by a truck than get with you. I'd rather sleep on a set of shit on sheets. I'd rather sleep in the middle of the street than sleep with you.
Hello, welcome to Red Talks. I travel frequently for my job and was on one of my business trips recently where something interesting happened. I usually fly on my trips, but on this particular trip I chose to drive instead. Since I was driving though, I had to wake up at 3 in the morning and begin a 5-hour drive in order to reach my first appointment around 8 a.m. I finished my first appointment and I had several other appointments that day that would require me to do a lot more driving, but I was extremely tired and I even fell asleep a few times at the wheel. I don't drink coffee except under extreme circumstances, and this was definitely one of those times. There was a little coffee shop right next to where my first appointment was, and I hadn't had breakfast either, so I thought I would just grab something quick and get back on the road. I walked into the coffee shop, and it was so small there were only 2 chairs that were being occupied by a couple older gentlemen drinking coffee and having a conversation. I walked up to order, and I was greeted by a young blonde girl, probably about 24 to 26 years old, and she was wearing high cut-off jean shorts with her ass hanging out and a bright pink tank top with her tits out so much they looked like they were ready to be used for adding milk to the coffee. The first thing out of her mouth, as opposed to things going into her mouth, was, "Hey hun, what can I get you?" As soon as she called me hun, I knew her game. She had a tip jar on the counter and she was using her sex appeal and fake flirting to get more tips. There was no actual menu except for coffee drinks listed on a big board up on the wall, and I asked if there was any food available. She told me what they had, and I ordered a bagel with cream cheese along with a regular black coffee. She said, "Sure thing, sweetie, right up." She asked if I wanted my bagel toasted, and I said no, and she said, "No problem, hun." She got my bagel and said, "Here you go, sweetie," and went on to make my coffee. And a minute or so later, she handed it to me with another, "Here you go, sweetie," almost as if she was one of those dolls with a string coming out of their back and somebody was pulling it to make her say the same ridiculous flirty remarks over and over. I paid for my stuff and she said, "Thanks, hun, see you again." And I just said bye and did not put any money in her tip jar, and I got in my car and headed down the road with my bagel and coffee. I never ended up drinking any of the coffee, but I was glad I had it in case I started falling asleep again. I did eat the bagel, but it was so nasty it tasted like it had been in an old refrigerator for years, but I was really hungry, so I only ate one half and I threw the other half out the window so some wild animal could try eating the fridge-flavored bagel. Now, women aren't the only ones to blame for this behavior. Just like my shitty fridge-flavored bagel, this issue has 2 sides, and it's very hard to stomach. Men are to blame just about as much as women. If there was ever such a thing as toxic masculinity,
Why am I toxic?
it would be men enabling this behavior from women. Men think they can actually gain something from a woman's situation like this, but they are just playing the part of the pathetic fool. I can't help but wonder how many dumb men fall for a woman's fake flirts just so they can scam you or get whatever they want from you. But men fall for this over and over again, and it's really sad and pathetic. This is one reason why I have never liked strip clubs. I've never gone to a strip club on my own. I've always been dragged into one by somebody else. I know all the women are doing is trying to get your money, and you don't even get to touch them. It's fake, sad, pathetic, and insulting to any self-respecting man. If men would actually deny women from using their sex as a manipulation tactic, then women would most likely try to engage with men by being a better person that uses better personality traits and honest communication rather than sexual manipulation. The girl working in the coffee shop could have asked me how my day was going, and we could have had some general small talk, and I could tell her why I needed the coffee. She could have seen my company logo on my shirt and asked me about my job. In other words, she could have shown an interest in actually talking to me, even if it was only for a short time and over trivial subjects. That would have been much better than her ridiculous attempt to swindle me with her sex appeal that will be gone in a few years. Many long-lasting friendships began with some simple small talk, whether at a barbecue, at a job, or some other place. I'm not saying I was interested in becoming her friend in particular, but I would have gladly at least given her a tip if she tried to have a normal conversation. But instead she acted like her soul was as black and bitter as the coffee she served me. Furthermore, we all know how women display cognitive dissonance when it comes to these issues of being objectified. You have so many women walk around half naked and act flirtatious, but they don't want to be sex objects. What the fuck?
Stupid cunts!
If you look at them and appreciate how they look, they get mad. But if you don't look at them, they get upset because they are not gaining men's attention. And of course, this all depends on the man. They pick and choose who is allowed to look at them and who is not. And even when undesirable men look at them and they get angry, they still enjoy it because that means they have status in the sexual marketplace. They actually get even more upset if men don't look at them and comment. But they won't be as vocal about this. They don't want their precious secret to be made public that they only use their sex appeal as a tool because they are vapid and lack character. Women are much more attractive when they are more than just a skin bag with makeup. If women don't want to be sex objects, then they need to improve their social skills and character. Men only treat an object like an object because that's what it acts like. If a man ever wants to attract a quality woman, he needs to not be led on by fake flirting and sexual manipulation. A quality man needs to show a woman that it takes more than tempting his primal instincts to gain his favor. Next time you encounter a sex object in the wild, treat it as such. An object doesn't deserve anything from you. If women want to act like an object, then stop enabling them by playing their game and treat them just like any other object, just like a lamppost or half of a stale bagel lying in the grass on the side of the road. That's it for this video. I thank you for watching. As with every MGTOW related video, I have a selection of MGTOW music. If you'd like more MGTOW music, you can check out my MGTOW music playlist, which is linked in this video and in the description. Today's MGTOW music sample is by Rebel Sun with their song I'd Rather, off of their album Declaration of Disaffection, released in 2007. Enjoy.
These are just a few of the things I'd rather do than spend another minute with you. I'd rather eat a big old bar of soap and choke. I'd rather shit in the woods and wipe my ass with poison oak. I can think of 1,000 shitty things I'd rather do. I'd rather be in hell than be with you.